Hello, everyone. I'm Ken, and I have Rich joining me from England again. And we are here with the latest edition of the Epic Dads podcast. And today, Rich and I are going to talk about an important concept, supporting men, one of the first of the three pillars of the mission of Epic Dad. Hi, Rich. How you doing today?
Hi Ken. Yeah, I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you. Great to see you as always.
Yeah.
So very important topic we're going to talk about today, and there's a lot that goes under the guise of support. I can't wait to dive into this. I'm interested to hear what you have to say and how this has revealed itself. This concept has revealed itself in your work with Epic Dads. All right, so let's just dive right in. What does supporting men mean to you, and why did you choose that as the first pillar of the Epic Dad organization?
Yeah. So when we started Epic Dad, we decided on three main aims: supporting men, empowering fathers, transforming families. And I think in the early days, we probably leaned in more to the empowering fathers with parenting support, looking at our role as a father. And of course, we've done a lot with transforming families, with dads and kids clubs, family activities, really to develop these safe spaces, fun times to support family life. But I think it was really probably during lockdown with COVID that it really came front and center, the whole area of well-being and mental health in men and supporting men. That first aim became a real priority to develop that in our work and outreach and support because, as everybody was really struggling at that time, not sure what was going to happen, um, stresses over finance, work, homeschooling, whatever it might have been, and really realized that we need to do more to come alongside fathers, just in them being men, really, and not necessarily even talking about dad stuff, but really giving them space to kind of talk about their thoughts, their feelings, the struggles that might be facing. And, just meeting up with a dad one to one over coffee might work for some, but we found what really has helped dads to really offload is developing well-being walks, just getting outside in the countryside, fresh air, enjoying creation and just the exercise really and a change of scenery. And I think there's something about being on a journey. You're looking straight ahead, perhaps less kind of intimidating, I don't know, than looking face to face, but you're looking straight ahead and there's this that release to be able to talk and offload and share kind of thoughts, feelings. And we found these sessions really therapeutic. To be honest, I was getting a lot out of it personally, as well as dads that I've met with, to really give them opportunity to talk through, just what's going on with them, really. And
Hmm.
something we really, a key kind of message we want to get across with Epic Dad is the best gift we can give to our family is a healthy us. If
Hmm.
we better look after ourselves, then we're better equipped to support our children, our partner, our family, others in our world. It's that classic illustration with the safety briefing when you're on a plane, when the oxygen mask comes down. Put your own mask on first before you help your children with theirs. And I remember I used to think when I was younger, that can't be right. It's children first, not me. They're more important. Then I've come to realize actually, if I'm running on empty, if I'm not getting my oxygen, if you like, how can I help my children? How can I take care of them effectively? So it's really helping dads to see the importance of themselves and not to feel guilty to do something that's going to benefit yourself because it never ends with you. There's always the benefits beyond into your family and community if we're in a healthy place, spirit, soul, and body. So I think supporting men, we've really doubled down on that now and say, right, yes, let's do fatherhood stuff, let's provide fun activities, but actually, first of all, let's give men the time and space to be able to talk and be supported and build their support network with other dads, make friends, lifelong friends, guys that they'd hang out with outside of Epic Dad activities. So they just feel they're part of something and they're not on their own. Because for far too long, there's been a stigma, hasn't there, on men's mental health. You've got to just
Hmm.
act tough and look strong and keep it together for your family. And then if we're not careful, we can bottle things up and then it can kind of come out in an unhealthy way. We might get angry or self-medicate, maybe drink too much, eat too much. But actually, if we create environments which are safe and authentic, where men can be real and share, then they're going to get support. They're going to feel like they're processing their thoughts, feelings, emotions better. And then their family will benefit from them feeling calmer and happier in themselves.
All great thoughts. Absolutely. I think back to the example, one of the similar to the airplane example. When I was there in England, you remember I took some courses with Sharon Parenting, one of the partner organizations that works with Epic Dad. And they provided in one of the courses an example of a water pitcher and a glass, and how if we're always taking the water pitcher that's full of water, which is representative of our own energy, and
Yeah.
always filling other people's glasses and never refilling our pitcher, then eventually that pitcher runs dry and we're of no use to the individuals and community around us. We have to remember to take time to restore what's inside of our pitcher as well if we want to be of use to others. Um, so you touched on toward the end of that conversation a or the discussion a an aspect that I find is the biggest barrier in getting people to accept support is the fact that men traditionally have been, whether purposefully or not, we've been under the impression that we have to take care of ourselves and our families independently and to prove to the world, to our parents, to our communities, to our coworkers, what have you, that we are strong and capable of doing this without the support of others. So I'm curious, what do you do to sort of dispel this ages old myth, which I think it is now, and to begin to get men to be comfortable accepting support from others outside of even their own sort of existent tribal network?
Mhm. Well, I think I use like the word partnership a lot. So it's not to say that men aren't capable to problem solve and do things themselves, but it's understanding that there's other support available too. So it's that partnership with others for our own good, for the good of our family, to really kind of have a bigger picture of things. So I guess it's about balance, isn't it? So it's not about saying to a dad, you've got to be strong, you've got to just go with this alone and get it done. But it doesn't want, we don't want to be the other extreme to say you can't possibly do anything, you need help in every area. And so neither extreme is particularly helpful and not a true picture, but the balance is you are doing great, but to do even better, we all benefit from learning from others, from engaging with support that's available, because ultimately, if our goal is to be the best guy we can be, the best dad we can be, the best partner we can be, then let's draw on anything that can support us in that. And also I think the whole thing about partnership as well is it can be beneficial to both sides, can't it? So like with Epic Dad, I know like there are dads that feel supported by the groups and mentoring and help I can offer through Epic Dad, but definitely they're a massive support to me and to the work. Epic Dad couldn't run without the involvement of the dads putting something back. They've got a lot out of the project, so they want to help. They want to volunteer. They want to load the van. They want to help set up. They want to, cook the bacon. They want to.
Burn the bacon at the school.
Let's not talk about that incident, Ken. That's a whole nother podcast. Uh, oh, shall I
Great
tell the
memories.
story? No, I
Oh,
feel like it's a big digression.
go for it. That ended up being a great day for
Oh,
everybody.
okay. Let's share this story. So we're doing one of our dads and kids clubs. My good friend Ken here, doing a wonderful job as always, helping at the clubs, cooking the bacon. Back then, we cooked it in the smaller room next to the hall, and very sensitive smoke alarms at the school. So very soon, the smoke alarms are going off. So we get the alarm turned off, but at that point, the message has already reached the fire brigade, and they're on their way. They're en route. We've even said to them, false alarm. It was just smoky bacon. Everything's fine. They're like, no, we have to go. That's the procedure. So they make their way to the school and feeling a bit embarrassed, bit like, oh my goodness, we're gonna have to start cooking the bacon outside now, or by an open door, which we do now, so it doesn't happen again. And then they turn up and we're like, guys, I'm so sorry, false alarm. But as you're here, would you like a bacon roll and a fresh cup of coffee? Like the firemen are like, yeah, great. And I said, also, could the kids come on board the fire engine and have some photos taken. Yeah, that's fine. And the kids were so happy. They were over the moon. The dads were taking pictures. They were sat behind the engine or behind the steering wheel. And, they were just like, wow, fire engine's an epic dad. And they were like, thank you so much for organizing this, Rich. And I was like, yeah, that's right. That's what I did. This was organized. Absolutely. This wasn't like an epic fail at all. Then one of the dads said to me, said, Rich, only you could turn an epic fail into an epic win.
That's
And I
right.
said, isn't that the message? Big dad, there are epic fails along the way, but as long
Yeah,
as the epic wins out the epic fails, everything's going to be fine.
that's right.
But that was a memorable day that people still talk about years on.
That's awesome. And that is the message. Every circumstance there's a golden nugget in every event. And you did. You absolutely turned what could have been a very embarrassing and disorganized situation into something that was beautiful for everybody. That was a powerful lesson for me. And it was powerful to me because I was the one burning the bacon and I could have been, I could have walked away from that event and been just, very, very embarrassed and maybe not even returned. I don't know, but it ended up being a fun outcome. So
It
that
was
was cool.
redeemed. It was
Yeah.
a funny story and a wonderful memory for the kids.
Yeah.
And I think this does link to the topic. I always find a way to link things in because,
Yeah.
like you said, I think for a lot of men, when we make a mistake, we can really beat ourselves up or something doesn't go according to plan. We
Yeah.
we can really feel like it's a reflection on us as a person when it's not. There's
Hmm.
lessons we can learn, situations can be redeemed. We do make mistakes. There are epic fails. That doesn't mean we're not an epic dad because like I said, you can turn it around. There are many more epic wins that you can have to outweigh the epic fails. And so it's all, I feel like, I think sometimes dads are just very hard on themselves. And I don't, perhaps it goes back to childhood. Perhaps there's this feeling of I've got to measure up, I've got to do well. And we just want dads to know, we believe in them, we value them. They offer so much to the world, to their families. And we don't want them to be overly critical of themselves. We want to, and that's why, like, with the going back to the logo and the letters of epic, encourager, provider, instructor, carer. I find with these four areas, it's not just us bringing this to our children, but us dads need it as well. And I feel like the more we can encourage dads, provide for them, instruct them, and care for them, the more empowered they're going to be to offer those things and fulfill those roles to their children. So I think for supporting men, I feel a big part of it is encouragement and being a listening ear and bringing some affirmation really and
Hmm.
reassurance that you're not on your own. And I've had dads like me and share some of their struggles and just the relief on their face thinking, I thought it was just me. But to
Hmm.
know another dad feels the same way, is just really like it's life-giving. You think, wow, okay, I feel energized. I know this is normal and I know I've got support here. And we can all encourage one another to keep going.
Yeah, without a doubt. So you got into a little bit about how you support. You mentioned earlier that there are actually five, did you call them pillars or tenets of support?
Yeah, so there's something called the five ways to well-being.
Hmm.
And it all came out from research a number of years ago. And it's been used in like mental health and social care and other kind of support services, NHS. It's just very well known now as a kind of a really helpful way, a tool, if you like, to encourage people to look at things that they can personally do to improve their well-being. Because I think
Hmm.
sometimes we focus on all those things that are outside of our control and we can feel quite overwhelmed. But rather than focus on the things that we feel we can't do a lot about, certain circumstances, but there are things within our situation that we can change. So it's really inspiring and empowering people to know they can do positive things to improve their own personal well-being and support their family and others with theirs too. So, and they're quite easy to remember, although I'm going to test myself now that I can remember them in no particular order because they're all really of value and beneficial. But one of them, the first one I'm going to mention is connect, just the importance of connecting with others to improve our well-being. When we feel isolated and disconnected, we that's when people's mood can go down. They can start feeling anxious, feel on their own in life, and just that need for social interactions, solid friendships, a family, that you can be there for them and they're there for you. Sadly, I know that's not the case for everybody, but it's just having some solid quality people in our world where there's that mutual support. So as we support them, as they support us, as we just do life together, that helps well-being no end. And I think, back to the COVID and lockdown, that was one of the things that really made things hard for people when they just couldn't see people. Like looking at someone on a screen, we're very grateful, like we're doing today, but
Hmm.
you can't be face to face, real life connections with people and spending time with them in person is incredibly valuable for just feeling like we're not on our own. There's people we can be real with, share with, laugh with as well. Like just, I was even talking in a group this morning about the importance of just having fun and having people in your world that you can just laugh with. And I think we've talked about this before in previous sessions, just the power of play, not just with our interactions with our children, but even with the grown-ups, just being able to just share funny stories like we shared the story of the bacon and the fire
Hmm.
brigade earlier, and just things that make you laugh and just help with that kind of emotional connection that you share with key people in your life. So, connections are really, really needed for our well-being. So that's the first one. And then another one is to stay active. Again, it's that whole thing about exercise, fitness, activity, being proactive in whether it's just a half an hour walk a day, maybe for some it might be going to the gym, some might be into running or whatever it might be. Just the importance of exercise and regular activity for our health and well-being. As you know, it has so many benefits. It's not just helps us physically, but it's an incredible de-stressor.
Hmm.
And I talk to people and like they've been inside a long time and they're not really engaging much, but they feel like they're just going down with it. But then I say, well, let's meet for a walk, and just going for a walk in the woods for half an hour to an hour. At the end of that, they feel good from the conversation, but also that movement, that movement can affect your mood, and which has obviously been proven scientifically. It really is essential for our health and well-being that we make sure that being active is a key component of our lives. Another one is mindfulness, or they use the term take notice.
Hmm.
Everyone's in a rush, aren't they? People are always, off to the next thing. I'm really guilty of this, trying to fit too much into my day, and sometimes we just don't stop just to look at the beauty around us. It could be just out in our garden or on a walk or just driving a different way to work, just taking in new sights and sounds and yeah, just being in the moment in life. And I think when we're always in a rush, it's really hard to be in the moment. So just taking time and having a healthier pace to life that we can think about things we're grateful for, having that attitude of gratitude, if you like, and to count our blessings even when things are hard. I'm sure the list of positive things in our lives and all the things we can be thankful for is a longer list, and that will again benefit our well-being. And also just to think about things that we've achieved. Like we get to the end of the day, we could be mindful and reflective of things we're thankful for, but also things that have gone well that day and things that we've completed and got done and people we've helped. I think again that mindfulness, that reflection can be so good for our mental health and well-being. Thinking, yeah, it's been a good day. I feel really productive today. I've been able to help people today. I've been able to achieve this. And again, I think that is really, really beneficial. So yeah, I'm really big on this in this with Epic Dad, just encouraging dads just to take time just to be. We were human beings before we were human doings, and
Hmm.
just to be in the moment and be out in nature, be just enjoy the thing, whether we're just enjoying a nice meal, a cup of coffee, a conversation, music, just really embrace these special moments of life because that does our heart good and it definitely helps our mental health and well-being. And then the
Enjoying
fourth
the
one,
enjoying the experience of just being alive. Like that's so
yes.
simple, but it's so hard to do these days.
Absolutely. Just we're here. Life's a gift. I was talking to a dad today and he was saying, isn't it interesting that the word present, we think of like the present situation we're in now, but also like a gift that you give somebody or you receive a present. And it was really good kind of conversation on that. Let's be present in this moment, but let's also view this moment as a present. It is a
Hmm.
gift that we're meant to enjoy
Yeah.
and fully embrace.
Mm.
So another of the five ways to well-being is to keep learning. And I don't know about you, but when I finished college, I thought, great, I'm done with my learning. I've got my qualifications. I'm all good to go in the big wide world now. But the fact is, we're meant to be lifelong learners. We should never stop learning, never stop having a keen mind. It's never too late to learn a new skill. Enroll in a new course just to grow in our knowledge and understanding and try new things. And again, that improves well-being no end. Just to be proactive in growing in our gifts and our abilities and our hobbies, our interests. It could be anything from, doing some gardening, like a gardening project, or maybe a DIY project, or Lego. You could have a big Lego project, like we've recently had building the Lego Death Star, as a project for dads and kids to enjoy together. And an element of that, I think, was well-being, this sense of we're working hard, we're working together, we've achieved something, we've created something, and we're learning some new skills along the way. All those kind of things, whatever people's interests are. And also to link it in with being a dad, it could be that our child is learning something new. We could learn it with them, and it could be
Mm.
that shared experience. So I've heard of like a child learning to play an instrument, so the dad learns to play the same instrument. So they've got that experience together, and that's so good for their bond. And also the dad's modeling to the child is you're never too old to try something new and
Hmm.
develop a new skill, and how that can benefit you as a person and things that you can share with the wider world. And then the fifth one is give. So that whole thing about how we reach out to others and meet needs of our community is another really effective way to improve our well-being and also the well-being of others. Obviously, the main reason we give to charity, we help someone in need, is because we care and we want to make a difference. But there is an added bonus to that. Like you're helping that person, but also it does you good as well, thinking, wow, yeah, living a purposeful life. I think when I think about giving, it's about people recognizing that they're here for a reason and being purposeful in our lives and making a difference and showing your care and support to others. Incredibly powerful and can really make the world of difference to other people. And it also lifts us because we feel useful and effective, and we know that what we do is helping others. So they're the five ways to well-being. There is an exam at the end if you remember them, Ken. So
Man,
I'll test you now. Do you remember the five?
man, okay, so learning, giving. I may not say them in order, by the way.
That's great, though.
Learning,
You did good.
giving, connecting, moving, and hang on, just being, living. Was that
Yeah,
the other?
I
Did I
love
get
it.
them
Yeah,
all?
well done. You win a prize. Well done.
As you go through that list, I'm thinking to myself, these are all fantastic pieces of advice, and following any of those consciously in a moment or a day can make a tremendous difference in the day. But then collectively, this is a powerful package of developmental and evolutionary tools that if somebody were to create sort of a life map based on just those factors, they would always be growing, always be developing, always be becoming something new and different and better, better version of themselves. So, and it's great because they're simple terms, but you can take infinite streams of possibility with all of what you just provided. So, man, thank you. That's really powerful. I could go back through that probably 10 times and sit down and journal a list of ideas. I love the one about dads and kids learning musical instruments together for
Yeah.
one. So that was good. Awesome. Well, fantastic discussion. We'll go ahead and wrap up. Anything you want to leave the audience with as it relates to supporting men?
I just want to encourage all men out there that might be struggling, might feel a bit overwhelmed by life. Please know there is support there. There's Epic Dad, but there's other amazing projects supporting fathers or men in general, or just people in general with their mental health and well-being. Please do reach out. You can talk to your GP. You can look at kind of NHS website. There's mental health charities there. There's many to mention really more than we have time for, but please do make contact and know that you're not on your own, and there are specialist services available. We're not a specialist service in that sense, but we ourselves can refer people on to other services. But if you just, dads just want to connect with other dads and have a walk and have a chat, or the 5 ways to wellbeing, we actually offer as a 5-part wellbeing course for dads that we offer one-to-one on a walk, on a Zoom, in a small group, and we can offer that so dads can explore these 5 areas more. We just want dads to feel supported, know that there's people there that care, that understand, that want to come alongside them. And we can all learn and grow together. And as our well-being improves, we can support our family with their well-being and really thrive together in family life.
Absolutely fantastic. I'll leave the audience with this. I want to thank you, Rich, for what you do and for the Epic Dad organization. You epitomize what it means to support men, and you've inspired me. And we've talked a lot over the last couple of months, but I'll say to the audience right now, Rich has inspired me to actually create a Dads Supporting Dads organization in my local community. We just started with our first meeting last month and are looking forward to upcoming events in the near future. So, you've convinced me that supporting men, supporting dads is a worthy goal, and hopefully I'll learn and grow just as you have over the last 5 or 6 years doing what you do. So thank you for that.
Thank
All
you. It's
right.
amazing what you're doing. I can't wait to visit one day.
Absolutely. We'll have you as a as an honored guest speaker at our first banquet or something like
Just,
that.
just don't be cooking the bacon and everything should be fine.
You're awesome. All right.
See you, mate.
Thanks for all of this, Rich. This is great stuff. Until the next time, we're signing off and everybody have an epic and adventurous day. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.